All right. Hey, you guys. I just want to thank you all for taking the time to come on this video. I feel like we had an amazing home buying experience with ups and downs. And I really just kind of want to talk about what that looked like and from your experience, what you did. I really want to use this as motivation for others and also to kind of like share and give hope to people, letting them know that like, sometimes it's not perfect, but it ends up being perfect. So, do y'all kind of just want to share your journey?
Sure. I'll let you sit. Nope. I'll
Well,
let you. Nope. You're going first.
well, basically, we started back in 2024, trying to purchase a home, and everything was going smoothly until about a week before closing, and
Mm.
then everything just started going crazy. Um, so it just started spiraling out of control. Just got more hectic and more crazy, and it started to take a toll on us because it was just a lot of bumps, a lot of ups and downs, and I just had to at some point pull the plug on the first time on the deal the first time.
Yeah. So I remember you saying that, I mean, you guys had picked out like you designed the house,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yes, we designed the house. We picked the lot. We
All the
all the
structures.
structure, the earnest money, everything. We did everything.
yeah. And then the loan team that you were working with at that time, I remember you telling me during our process that there was so many things that we had done that they had never done for y'all. And y'all were under contract how long?
September to
September
March
September to 2023,
24.
24 to March of 2025.
So what, 7 months?
Yep.
Yep.
And you didn't go through nearly half of the stuff that we went through your first time around.
Nope.
That is crazy. So I'm going to interject here because one thing that a lot of people don't realize is when it comes to new construction, a lot of times the in-house lender may not always be the best lender. I mean, no shade, but some of them are great. Let me just say that. But also because they're getting so many applications, they're doing the bare minimum and they're like, "All right, cool, we got you. You're pre-approved or whatever." And they're not doing the due diligence, which I feel like it's horrible because it kind of sets you guys out, like they're not doing their job on the front end. And then you are the one that ends up paying because now you're scrambling, trying to figure out what to do to get the house. And then in essence, may lose out on money. Fair?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So you said we're done. And then that was back in March. So what happened to where, we came around the second time?
Uh, uh, the wifey had sent me a video of Duran showing the house. I was like, "Well, okay. What house is she showing?" And then she said, "The house we designed." So I was like, "Okay, it's still." I was shocked it was still there. Let me.
Yeah.
I was shocked it was still there. So
Yeah.
when she said, "Yeah, it's still there, it's still available," so I was on top of. I like send me the man's information so I could reach out to him. I'm talking about I had to ask like every day, "Are you going to send me the man's information?" She kept, oh my goodness, she kept giving me what's gaslighting. She kept gaslighting me, sending me, sending me the information, and wouldn't send me nothing. And I don't know what happened, but I was like, "Are you going to send me the information?" And man, something snapped, and she was like, "Okay, I'm seeing the information," and she sent it. And I reached out to Duran. I said, man, I like that house. That house you was showing, that's the house I designed.
For real.
For real. He was like, what? I said, yeah. I said, we designed that house. And me and Duran had a conversation that, I gave him, a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. And Duran was like, okay, well, let me do my thing. And he did his thing.
Yeah. So what was your first impression of Duran?
Um, he made everything. At first, we had lost a lot of faith in the home buying process,
Mm.
and I had to talk my wife off the cliff a couple of times, but she finally came around. But Duran, he was more down to earth about it. He was like, whatever y'all want to do, I'm here to support you in doing it, and that's how we end up, of course, in the house we had built the first time.
Yeah. So Duran, okay. So from your perspective, they call you and they're like,
Hmm.
"Hey, we built this house
Yep.
and it's our house." Like, what are going on in your head? What are your thoughts? Like,
Man, the first thing I could think about was when I had a chance to sit back and think about it. I'm like, man, this can't be nothing but God.
Right.
Like I'm a firm believer that the Lord promises double for our trouble. So the second go around, I feel like they probably got a better deal, and probably a little bit more bells and whistles, appliances, and so I just feel like I don't want to say that was payback, but man, I'm a strong believer in that. The Lord will take care of us. Not to sound like a preacher, but they say, look, if I take care of the birds of the air, how much more will I take care of you? I know I'm
yeah,
paraphrasing it, but it's just one of those things where it's like, man, when we just the Lord he tells us to possess the land and not to rent it. And
yeah,
I'm just a firm believer in that. Like really, whatever is yours is yours. However it looks, we like to say God is mysterious, but I really think God is intentional.
Yeah.
It
yeah,
may take us through some peaks and valleys, and he always tells us that He's there with us in the valleys.
yeah,
Um, but it was unbelievable because we get so sometimes I get random calls. I really didn't know how serious Eric was, but when he told me that, hey, I connected with Angela and everything is looking good, I'm like, oh, okay, he's serious, because
yeah.
sometimes you give people some just basic steps, right? And it's
Hmm.
really nothing. It's no rocket science. It's nothing, super magical.
Yeah,
But when he took that first step, I'm like, oh, they're not playing. They want this house. And
yeah,
just hats off to them because I feel like it's more mental than anything else. You get so many questions, so many requests, and when I'm dealing with buyers, I tell them, I say, hey man, if somebody was lending you, I mean, if you were lending somebody 400 or 500,000, whatever the case, sometimes it takes a little bit of legwork. They need more information, and there's
yeah.
nothing personal, and I feel like they didn't get burned out or they just stayed the course, man. That's what it's all about. That's what life is about.
I'll tell
And
you this. If somebody asks me for $100, I'm still asking all the questions. It's 100. Like,
yeah,
wait, when am I getting it back? And are you
yeah,
paying it all at one time or in payments? Okay, so
exactly.
Right.
But I think they handle everything well. Like they didn't call
yeah,
me like tripping, like why Angela team is asking for. They just got it done. Like golly, like whatever it takes by any means necessary. And
yeah.
I just like that, man. On top of that, they got a new house, and hey, it looked like Chicago might be going to the Super Bowl too, man.
I
Hey,
So one of the things, so you talked about God moving in it, and I really do
yeah,
feel like that because I talked to the sales agent, and the sales agent, he calls me, he's like, "Hey, when are we closing? Like, what's it looking like?" Da 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 da, da, right? And so one of the things that he told me, he was like, "Yeah, this house has gone under contract twice since then,
yep,
and has fallen through twice." And I was like, "What?" I wanted to like run around the room and shout and have the praise music, you know what I mean? Because I just feel like it wasn't their house, it was y'all's house, which is why when y'all went under contract again, it was like Duran said, is everything was in your favor, better
yep,
pricing, you got more in the house than you would have, you know what I mean?
Right.
Interest rates had fallen from the time that you were originally starting, you guys got a great deal, so it just feels like everything was better in that time. And so the fact that the timing, when he said that those deals fell out, I was like, that's because
yeah,
they didn't design the house. They didn't pick the backsplash. You know what I mean?
yep,
So, but I do see that, and I was just like, that's really cool. But also, I want to attest, like, I'm going to go with Duran on this and say, like, you guys put in the work, right? Because aside from the mental aspect of having to overcome that hurdle and try again, because a lot of people would go through what you've gone through and be like, you know what, I'm done. Like, I just don't want to buy a house, right? But y'all were like, no, this is my house. We're gonna try again. You trusted the team that you were working with this time around. You fought for me. Thank you. Fought for me to use me, versus the builder's lender. And I mean, even traveled to get documents, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because y'all were like, look, we got to get this done. We got it done. And I truly believe that it's a team effort when it comes to purchasing a home. Like, you guys can't do it without the lending. We can't do it without you being on top of your part. You can't do it without Joanne finding you the house, negotiating the price, so it's all a collaborative effort to be able to ultimately get to a goal of home ownership. And now you guys are in your house. You got a tree up, you got lights. I mean, are y'all having family over for the holidays?
Well, our son from Canada came down, so
Nice.
so we're excited about it. Our first Christmas here, and
I
you
love it.
know, and Angela, I want to go back to something you had when we first started this process, and I had told you, I said, that's the house we designed, and you said, you know what, y'all need to go get y'all house. That's y'all.
Yeah.
You said that, and and again, followed by what the builder said and what Joanne said. God was moving, and I told the wife, I said, sometimes God may delay us, but he didn't deny us. He
Yeah.
Amen.
delayed this because he said, you know what, just wait a minute, I got something better for y'all. It's gonna be even better when you get in there, and
Yeah.
that's exactly what happened. I was like, dang, because I told you
Yeah.
he was asking us to put down, and then on top of that, man, we were still at about $5,000 a month for the mortgage payment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. When you told me that, I was like, wait, what? And you
yeah,
were like, that was just the down payment. I'm like, oh my gosh. What?
yeah. So yeah, it was crazy, and then, like I said,
Yeah.
I'm glad we stuck to our guns, and even though they try to, well, you can go through us, and we we,
Yeah.
we sticking with y'all, because y'all made us feel safe. Y'all made us feel comfortable during the process.
I
Hey
appreciate
Angela, I
that.
want to say something real quick. So
Yeah.
just when people watch this or whatever the case, people don't understand what the definition of a good client is. Like when I say the steals, they didn't blow anything out of proportion.
Yeah.
Even when we got the home inspection report, I explained to Eric, like, hey man, we're good. He didn't like come back like, no, you see X, Y, and Z. And he
Yeah.
didn't blow things out of proportion, like, I was telling him, like, hey, like sometimes you can say something to a client and it don't be enough.
Yeah.
And what I said and how I informed him, that was enough. A lot of people like to get family members involved or bring up other people's transactions, and they were just so trusting. So I think the
Yeah.
definition of a great client is really like, hey, if you bring somebody on board to help you, maybe sometimes take what they're saying to the bank, and they did that. They
Yeah.
didn't never give me any like inclination that like, hey, they're not trusting what I'm saying or anything. And
Yeah.
it's really just basic steps. When people don't follow those basic steps, I feel like it's almost like a recipe for disaster when people just don't, you know the fundamentals, just
Yeah.
like basketball and everything else.
Yeah.
And they did that. They made it, as less stressful for me. They really made it easier for me, right?
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah. I would
definition
agree.
definition of a
Same
great
thing on
client.
my side. Yeah, they definitely were always on top of it and would listen to me. And I'd be like, I need you to get this to me by tomorrow. Done. I'm like, I know I was wearing y'all out, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's endurance, faith,
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, I appreciate you guys for trusting us. I'm really happy for you guys, and I'm looking forward to what the future holds for y'all. And you know, if you ever want to just send me a picture of you guys in your house, like, yeah, we did it. I'm gonna put it on social media. I'm just letting you know. I'm like, hey, look at my clients, they're satisfied, you know. But again, I appreciate you guys for taking the time to share your journey. And I hope that this motivates other people to realize, like, even if they were burned the first time, to keep trying, because I do believe that everybody should, if they desire to be a homeowner, I believe that they should have that opportunity too, you know. So that's it. I'm done. Any final words, guys?
Just like we said, thank you guys for making us feel comfortable and being able to trust y'all through this process. Like Joanne said, you know, I took comfort in when I'm hearing you say, when y'all was saying something, I didn't have any reservations, you know, because I put my full faith and trust in you guys, and then my wife, she followed along, and you know everything happened so smoothly that, man, we just excited to be in our dream home.
Amen.
Yay. Amen. All right. Well, thank you. And we will talk to you guys soon. I look forward to the housewarming that I'll get invited to.
Okay.